Ooh.
How'd you get so dirty?
I'm just happy I did.
You slide it all over the place.
Yeah.
Getting tacos.
That's the most important thing.
Do you know where Danny is?
Do I know where Danny is?
You know, she's yeah, I just gotta figure out how to sign this on.
Well, has Juan not signed in yet?
I don't know. It says 52 attendees. Give it a shot, you ready? Ready, Mook? Okay, we're going to open up for questions for Alana Rizzo. Alana Rizzo for Mookie Betts.
Mookie, how much emphasis coming into this game are you guys putting on the odd number games, an opportunity to break that tie and once again resume this lead?
I mean, obviously you're trying to win every game, but we knew we had a tough task, with Morton on the mound. So we just tried to scratch across a couple of runs. We were able to, put some good swings on some pitches he left out over the plate, and we did a good job of grinding today.
We knew this was going to be a tough pitching match against Charlie Morton. How were you guys able to get to him effectively early on and knock him out in fifth?
I think just following our plan. We did a really good job as a unit following plans and swinging at good pitches. Swinging at hittable pitches. He got the best of some of us, but we were, as a unit, we were able to grind through it.
Thank you.
Okay, Bill, go ahead.
And Mookie, you guys have scored 50 runs this postseason after there were 2 outs in an inning. It's a postseason record. How is that possible?
Just not giving up. I mean, obviously there's 2 outs, but you can still build an inning. Not giving away at bats. I think that's just the recipe for that, and that's how you win a World Series. So we have to continue to do it for at least 2 more games.
How demoralizing is it to be on the other side, do you think?
I think being that I've been on the other side, it's tough to you're 1 out away, and then a walk here, and then a single here, and then a double here, and then next thing you know, you're giving up a couple runs. It's kind of tough to stop the bleeding, but I think we did a good job in just keeping pressure.
Thank you.
Jared Diamond.
Mookie, how much as a team do you guys value, actually changing your approach with guys on base and shortening your swings? Because you guys just seem to do so well with guys in scoring position.
Yeah, it's not always about driving the ball. I think we've proven that we can do that, and we've proven that we can take our singles too. And there's a time and place to do both. And I think we've done a good job in kind of putting pride and whatnot to the side, and putting the long ball to the side, and just kind of playing pepper. That sometimes that's the way to play the game.
Carrie Osborne.
Mookie, I know this is important to everybody, but for Justin Turner, a guy who's been around for this team for such a long time, how meaningful is this for him to do all this and possibly win a World Series?
It's probably a question for him. For me, it's I'm just happy to be in the clubhouse with him. Actually, get to spend some time with him. I was always in another league, watching from afar, and just seeing what he does each and every day is, it's fun to be a part of.
Dylan Hernandez.
Mookie, Dave Roberts in recent years has kind of taken a lot of criticism every time this team has, kind of failed to win the whole thing. Just kind of wondering, how important has he been to this team, both from like a cultural standpoint, maybe even from the strategic standpoint in these last couple of rounds?
I think he's been huge. He hasn't panicked. I think he's been great. I think as players we have to take some ownership in some of the play. It's not always on him. He's been the same guy. Even when we were down 3-1 against Atlanta, he still believed. He still was the same guy. He had no panic in him, and so you have to be grateful for that. Because you're quote unquote leader is not panicking. He believes in you, and so that just proves that you should believe in yourself.
Thank you.
Jorge Castillo.
Hey, Mookie, 2 more steals tonight. Was it a point of emphasis for you personally, or the team as a whole, to maybe exploit something there?
Nah, I mean, I'm getting on base, and I'm able to get on base, and if it's there, I'll take it. Especially at a time like this, every run is important. If I can get the second, Siegs has been so hot. All it takes is a single, and I'm scoring on that. So anything to scratch across a run is what I'm trying to do.
From your vantage point, how did Walker look tonight?
Great. I mean, he was filling up the zone early. I know later on he, kind of didn't lose it, but he threw a couple more balls. But early, he gave us chances to keep adding on. He put up so many zeros and only gave up one. So it's obviously a great outing. And you give up one run and give us the opportunity to score some runs and hold it. I think we should win more games than that.
Thank you.
Stephanie Epstein.
Mookie, you mentioned not needing to rely on the home run. Were you surprised when Dave called the squeeze play? And from your vantage point, what did you see there?
I mean, I wasn't necessarily surprised. I've seen it before. But Barnes has been swinging it, so either way, I think we would have been fine. And it was a perfectly executed. I don't know if it was a squeeze. I don't know what it's called, but I think it was Barnes did an amazing job with that bunt right there.
Thank you, Mookie.
Gotcha.
Austin Barnes will be in a second.
First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead.
Austin, the sacrifice bunt that you lay down, Cody scores on it. It's the third of the year for you. How much of an emphasis has that been for you to be able to execute a bunt so effectively?
Yeah. They ask you to do something, you need to do it. So, being able to scratch those runs across were huge. Cody got on base. Jock got a big hit. Runs are at a premium in the postseason, as everybody knows. So, especially with the way Walk was throwing the baseball, we felt really good about it.
You get one with the small ball on the sac bunt, you get a home run. What's more difficult to do?
Probably the homer, but it was nice to respond after they scratched a run across in the inning before. So, kind of kept the momentum on our side, which was great.
How good was Walker tonight?
It's tough to really say. He was unbelievable. He really was. He made it really easy on me. That might have been the best I've ever seen his stuff, really.
Next question's from Stephanie Epstein. Go ahead.
Were you surprised when you got the sign for the bunt?
No, you kind of read the situation. That's kind of something we've done before in the past. So I had a feeling it was coming, and just had to execute. And the runners on base did a great job selling it. And when you sell it, it's a real hard play to defend.
Next question's from Ken Davidoff. Go ahead.
Justin, with his homer tonight, Justin tied Duke Snider for the franchise record for postseason. Obviously, Duke only played World Series back then, but nevertheless, just what does Justin mean to this team, and how much would you like to see him be part of a championship team?
Yeah, I mean he's the heart and soul of this team. He's been the heart and soul. So getting those runs across early was huge, especially with the way Walker was going to be throwing the ball. So JT's a big player for us. He always has. He's a great guy in the clubhouse, and we rely on him all the time.
Next question's from Rowan Kavner. Go ahead.
You said this, might have been the best you've ever seen Walker's stuff. Obviously, the strikeout totals, would indicate that. But was there anything specifically when you mentioned that really stood out to you from this?
His fastball was really, really good tonight. And he had the ability to throw that curveball and keep him a little bit off balance and not on the heater when he had to. So, but his fastball was special.
Thanks.
Next question's from Jason Stark. Go ahead.
Austin, you're just the second player in World Series history to have a squeeze bunt and a home run in a World Series game. When you tell people about this down the road, are you going to brag about the homer or the bunt?
Probably the homer. It's a cool little stat, but it's not easy to barrel a ball up against all these really good pitchers. So, yeah, probably the homer.
Next question's from Jared Diamond. Go ahead.
Hey, Austin, what do you think makes this lineup better with runners on base and guys in scoring position than when you don't have anyone on? How do you guys sort of change your approach to make that happen?
Just staying within ourselves. Knowing how good the next guy is, and not having the pressure to do it. Passing the baton, and when you get that pitch, hit it.
Next question's from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead.
Austin, can you talk a little bit about your emotions last year in the postseason compared to how you're feeling now and how you're able to contribute now?
Yeah, I wasn't really a part of the postseason last year, so it was a little hard to say you still got those nerves for the guys, and obviously want them to win. But yeah, it's nice to be in these games. Have a little bit of control behind the plate, and just trying to get these W's.
Next question's from Tim Brown. Go ahead.
Hey, Austin. I'm curious about the way Walker carries himself, the expression on his face, things like that. If somewhere down the line you were to turn a TV on and not have any idea, no context at all of how a game was going, could you look at him and tell whether or not things are going well for him or not?
No, he's confident, man. He's a confident dude, and that helps him so much on the mound. And we love having him on the mound, so he's our guy.
You got one more question. Go ahead, Pedro.
Austin, about Walker, given the stuff you described, do you think there's anything to him peaking now, considering how he started slow this summer and finally building up to where he wants to be right now in the most important time?
Seems like he always peaks at the right time for us, the big moments, the big postseason games. He's the guy who's been taking the rock, and he's been providing for us, so he's our guy.
Thanks, Barnty. First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead.
KT, you get things going with the scoring against Morton. Was he just trying to sneak a high fastball by you, and how were you guys able to be so effective with him early on?
Yeah, I got down in a 1-2 count there, and really just trying to battle and work a good at bat, and he threw a fastball up in the zone, and was able to get above it and get some good wood on it. So I thought we did a really good job against him tonight, battling him, making him work, making him throw a lot of pitches, and that's kind of the MO of our offense. When we do that, we can create some havoc on the bases.
You have 11 postseason home runs. You are now tied with Duke Snider as far as a postseason record with the long ball. What does that mean to you?
It means I've had the opportunity to play on a lot of really good baseball teams who played deep in October, and I've gotten a lot of ABs. So obviously something that I don't think I ever thought about or ever crossed my mind, but something that's pretty cool that I can talk about when I'm done playing. But it doesn't mean a whole lot until we finish this thing off and we win 2 more games. So.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead.
Yeah, Justin, in past postseasons, runners in scoring position and throughout situations have been a problem for this offense. But this year, you guys are thriving in those. Why the change?
I don't know. I think baseball is a crazy game, and sometimes that's just the way it goes. And we've been really good with 2 outs. We've been really good with 2 strikes, I think. I think we've put together tough ABs and battled and got a lot of 2-strike hits as well. So just a credit to the guys digging in and fighting and battling and not trying to do too much, trying to move the ball forward and put something in play, and then good things happen.
Thank you.
Next question's from JP Hornstra. Go ahead.
Yeah, Justin, I know you're quick to defer credit to your teammates, but really since the beginning of your career, you're somebody who's been the same hitter when the calendar turns to October, year after year, series after series. Not everybody can do that. You can. Is there some trick, and was somebody an example for you earlier in your career about how to prepare for playoff games?
I don't think it's a trick, and I don't think this postseason in particular hasn't necessarily been that great for me personally. But I've been grinding away and working with our hitting guys and trying to get good feels, and finally felt a little better tonight and was able to put together 5 good at bats. I've had a few little blips once or twice a game where I felt like I felt normal, and then I'd lose it. And tonight was really the first time all postseason I felt like I was able to put together 5 good ones.
Next question is from Ken Davidoff. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin, by now it's well known about your swing overhaul after you went from the Mets to the Dodgers. But how do you explain your success now? And you're about to turn 36, and you're still an elite hitter.
I don't know how to explain it. I think it's just preparation and repetition, and not afraid to make adjustments from pitch to pitch or AB to AB, and just knowing, I guess, what's right and what doesn't feel right, and then being able to switch gears. And like I said, I've changed a lot of stuff. I've made adjustments throughout this entire postseason, and finally tonight I feel like I landed on something that should be sustainable and felt pretty good.
Next question is from Alden Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin, you guys have been a lot better at not relying on the home runs than even just this regular season. I'm wondering how much of that might be a reaction of this ballpark, which obviously is a really big park. It's hard to hit a home run here, where you guys just sort of adjusted and said, all right, maybe we need to do it a different way here.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever, I shouldn't say anyone, but we probably have guys that go up there and try to launch. But for the most part, I think guys are in there trying to get good pitches and just trying to hit the ball as hard as they can. And sometimes they go over the fence. Obviously, not as many go over the fence here because it's a bigger yard. But we've done a really good job of finding barrels and hitting balls hard. And when you do that, you have a better chance to get hits.
Next question is from Kerry Osborne. Go ahead.
Justin, I realize that 2 wins might be far away, but also after winning 2 games, does your mind wander at all to the place where it might feel like to win 4 games in the series?
Absolutely not. We know how difficult this is. We know there's still a lot of work to do in front of us. Personally, we were down 3-1 in the last series and fought and clawed our way back. So you don't take anything for granted. You assess how tonight went and come back tomorrow and make whatever adjustments you need to make and go back to grinding away and finding a way to win a ball game tomorrow.
Next question is from David Waldstein. Go ahead.
Hey, Justin. Austin Barnes was saying that this might be the best stuff that he's ever seen from Walker. And I was just wondering what you saw from your position behind him.
Well, Barnsley's got him a lot, and Walker's had some really good outings for us, especially in the postseason. So that's saying a lot. And I would have to agree with him. I mean, the command, the fastball command was incredible. And just the way he pitches and attacks and how aggressive he is going right at guys. And, he'll mix in a cutter or slider or mix in a curveball to lefties. But, I mean, he pitches with his fastball, and he's aggressive with it. And, it is what it is. He's going to throw it, and he says hit it if he can. And he got a lot of swings and misses with it tonight.
Next question is from Jack Harris. Go ahead.
Justin, obviously you want to go up there producing every time, but are you able to go to the plate a little freer right now compared to postseasons past, just given how many other guys in the lineup are locked in?
No, I mean, you still want to produce, and you still want to get results. And I mean, but like I said earlier, I think tonight was the first night I felt like I put together 5 good at bats. So that's a good feeling, and that's a freer feeling going into tomorrow. Knowing the adjustments and changes that I made, I think are sustainable, and I'll sleep a little better tonight, and hopefully show up tomorrow and keep working on it and trying to hone it.
How thankful have you been to see the things that you guys have had to go through this year, going back to even when you had to kind of beef up some of the safety rules and things like that, just for you guys to be able to overcome all that and get to this stage and now be where you are right now? This is kind of a unique feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was a point during the shutdown where I was on a lot of those phone calls, and I wasn't sure if we were even going to get to start a season, let alone make it to the postseason and be here in a World Series, just because all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. So just proud of the players and the staff and all the work that has gone into protocols and being responsible and making good decisions and making right choices to ensure that, we're able to have a season and we're able to have this postseason playing in a bubble and be here today playing in a World Series.
I got time for one more. Go ahead, Tim.
Hey, you call on. I mean, Justin, you said 5 good at-bats tonight. Aside from the results and the at-bats, what is an indicator to you when you're at the plate that you're back feeling good in a particular at-bat?
There's a lot of things that go into it. How you see the ball, the decision making, pitches you're swinging at, pitches you're checking off on, and then finding barrels. And I felt like I was in the best position I've been in all postseason tonight to swing when I wanted to swing and check off on pitches when I wanted to check off, minus maybe the 3-2 cutter that I chased out of the zone against Morton my third at bat.
Thanks, JT. Walker Buehler now available.
I'll keep this pretty short.
First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead.
Walker, Austin Barnes just said he thought tonight's performance, particularly your fastball, was the best stuff he's ever seen you have. Do you share that sentiment with them tonight?
I think I physically felt better, but I felt good with where my stuff was at, and I think that's the biggest thing. So, it's good to hear that.
3 years ago, you were watching the World Series with your younger sister. Tonight, you have your first postseason start in which you had double-digit punch-outs. How much can you appreciate the development and the process that you've gone through?
I think at this point I've kind of been through this thing a couple times, and now it's all about winning, and that's all I really care about. Obviously, that's stuff that we can think back on a little bit, but right now I just want to win 2 more games.
Thank you.
Next question's from Jack Harris. Go ahead. Next question's from Alden Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Rocky, you talked about just how calm you were in Game 6 of the NLCS. What were the emotions like for you tonight?
Pretty similar. I think the more you do these things, the calmer you get, and I just don't want to keep harping on it, but I enjoy doing this, and I feel good in these spots.
Next question's from Tyler Kepner. Go ahead.
Like about pitching to Austin Barnes? What does he do so well behind the plate?
I like throwing to both our guys. I don't think it's an Austin Barnes thing or a Will Smith thing. I think they're both extremely talented. I threw to Will most of the year and was fine, especially, I think anything that says I'm better with Barnes is a lot to do with me not being very good this year when Will caught me. So I think we have 1A, 1B, and they're both extremely talented players, and we're glad to have them both.
Next question's from Stephanie Opstein. Go ahead.
Actually, I have a similar question, not as it relates to Will at all, just given the game that Austin had tonight. I think a lot of us want to write about how good he was. What makes him a good catcher, just on his own?
He just receives the ball well. He prepares well. He's tough. He just to kind of have the year that he had last year offensively, and then every year in the playoffs, it seems like he's just a different guy. He's a tough dude, and we're extremely lucky to have him.
Next question's from Ken Gurnick. Go ahead.
Do you think the slow ramp up and the care that was taken in September with the blisters kind of had you peaking at the perfect time?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job. Obviously there's been a few games that I kind of wanted to keep going, but that's what you want. I think you want an organization that's going to help you and hold you back, and I think as a player you want to keep going, and no, we've done a good job with it.
I got time for one more. Go ahead, Jorge.
Is the blister problem behind you? Or is that still something that you had to deal with tonight?
No, I think it's something I'm going to deal with all year, but we're pretty good at dealing with it now, and I feel comfortable with where we're at.
Thank you.
Thanks, Walker. First question's from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead.
Dave, you guys have scored 50 runs in this postseason with 2 out. How are you being so effective when you're in those types of situations?
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I think it's just a credit to these guys, just really every single at bat just fighting. And tonight's 2-out hit, Muncy was really big. Obviously JT's homer. You know, so many, just the fight, just the at bat quality, Alana. You know, whether it's 2 outs, not 2 outs, regardless of the game score, they're just really competing every at bat, which is really good to see.
Walker gives you 6 strong innings, double digits in strikeouts. Austin Barnes said his fastball and his stuff in general, the best he's seen. What did you see?
I saw the same thing. I just thought that the fastball command to the arm side early, the breaking ball, the shape to it, to kind of get those guys off the fastball. I thought the curveball was really good early. And then he elevated when he needed to. So, yeah, they were in sync tonight. Austin did a heck of a job back there with Walker. It was fun to watch.
Is Trinan, Gratterall, and Jansen a matter of just getting them work or matchups?
Yeah, that was more, I just felt that, you know, that time of the game, that part of the order, I wanted to get Blake in there to shorten the game. And then with Brewstar, he hasn't pitched in, I think, 4 or 5 days, so I wanted to get him in there. And we got work in, and he looked really sharp. And then with Kenley, it was more of, he hadn't pitched, I think, in 5 days, so I wanted to make sure he got in the game.
Next question's from Dylan Hernandez. Go ahead.
Dave, we don't see too many safety squeezes these days. Can you just kind of tell us how you got to that, made that call?
No, it was just, I just felt that once I saw Jock, you know, lumber or roll around first base on the turn, and, you know, you get a situational at bat. And Morton is really tough on right-hand hitters, and you've got a good runner a plus runner at third base and Cody. I trust Austin handling the bat. So I just felt that, you know, nothing against Choi at first base. I just don't think he's fleet of foot. So I felt if we can get something down on the right side of the infield, we got a good chance of, you know, getting an insurance run, and Austin did a great job of executing.
Next question's from Tim Brown. Go ahead.
Obviously, Walker's a really supremely confident young man. When he's coming off the field after yet another 0 in an inning, or maybe coming off after the 6th tonight or something, what do you see in him?
You know, I think with Walker, we have a good kind of understanding of each other and where he's at. You know, there's times I know that he's emptied the tank, and there's other times that he really wants to go out there. I think tonight I just felt that, you know, with that last inning, I just felt that he gave us all that he needed to give. And we should, with 9 outs to go, with some guys that I felt I really wanted to get in there and pitch, we should close it out. So that's kind of, Walker always wants to go back out there, but I felt really good about that being his night.
Next question's from Alden Gonzalez. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, I know you spoke a couple of days ago a lot about just how much better this offense has become at manufacturing runs, but you guys are actually a lot better at not relying on the home run this postseason than even just during the regular season. And I'm wondering how much of that you think has been maybe an adjustment from spending these last few weeks playing in a really spacious ballpark.
You know, I think that's probably the psyche initially, but when we got here with the roof open, it was carrying. I think it's just more of a fundamental kind of philosophy of trying to really grind, trying to win pitches and move the ball forward, you know, beat the shift if we have to, and try to shorten our swings if we need to. And I think that, you know, this is something, Alden, over years of experience in the postseason for us as a group, that when you run into 1s and 2s, these guys are going to make good pitches, quality pitches. So to be able to use the other side of the field to shorten your swing, you know, give yourselves a better chance. And to the credit of the hitters and the coaches, hitting coaches, they've done that.
Next question's from Pedro Mora. Go ahead.
Would you say the way Walker has pitched lately has validated the slow ramp-up you guys had him on all summer and the care with which you handled the blister?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we felt good about it, the process from the outset. And so it's kind of played out as such, but, you know, regardless, we felt good about it, and it is certainly good to see Walker throwing the baseball his best, you know, this time of year.
Next question's from Tyler Kepner. Go ahead.
Austin Barnes isn't always your everyday catcher. in the regular season, but he's almost always behind the plate for your World Series games, all 3 series. What makes you feel comfortable with him back there in these big games?
I just think that he's his ability to call a game, see the game from behind home plate, his ability to receive, and he gives you a tough at bat. So I just think that we have 2 very good catchers in Will and Austin. But Austin, just shows how much we trust him in big games, and he's done it for us time and time again. And he had a fantastic night.
Next question is from Jason Stark. Go ahead.
Dave, Walker Buehler keeps making Dodger history, postseason history, World Series history. How much appreciation do you have for just how rare and special this is for a guy at his age, at his stage of his career?
I'm kind of mired in it right now, Jason. I can I'm living through it. I appreciate how talented and what he's doing. I haven't kind of put it all together and kind of grasp, wrap my head around all that he's accomplished in this short period of time. But, being a big game pitcher and really succeeding on this stage, there's only a few guys, currently and throughout history. He's in some really elite company, and I'm just happy he's wearing a Dodger uniform.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Okay, well, obviously everybody wants to win a World Series for their team, for themselves, but do you get the sense that the younger guys might be trying to win this one for Justin and the other older guys who have been around?
You know what? I think, I think that's fair. You talk about Clayton, Kenley, who's been here for so long, Justin, who's been around for so long, and those are guys that have, mentored the young guys and really made them feel welcome. So, first and foremost, we want to win it for each other, the Dodgers, our fans, our city. But I think if you peel back a layer, I certainly know that these guys understand that there's been some veterans that put in a lot of time to not have a championship yet. So definitely make it sweeter.
Next question is from Claudia Gestro. Go ahead.
The JT had some great moments at the plate and on the field. How much of a lift is he giving the team in this postseason?
Who is that, Claudia?
JT, Justin Turner.
Yeah, JT, offensively to hit a homer in that first inning just to kind of jumpstart us was huge. And then the double to extend the inning to bring Muncy up later in that inning was huge. And then the double play. Justin's made a lot of great defensive plays in the NLCS as well as the World Series. So that double play was a big play as well.
Next question is from Stephanie Epstein. Go ahead.
Dave, the conversation when you had to call Austin Yad made the roster last year, I'm guessing was not your favorite conversation to have. Can you compare sort of how that felt with how it feels to watch him succeed now?
It's a lot better telling him that he's in the starting lineup than he's not going to make the postseason roster for that series. Austin is a guy that I really think the world of him. He's a tough competitor, and he makes pitchers better. He makes me and the pitching coaches look good. So I'm just really excited that he did what he did tonight, and on top of it, the cherry on top was a homer, which is always nice.
Next question's from Jared Diamond. Go ahead.
You addressed this a little bit before, but at a time when it seems like every hitter is willing to put on sort of their A swing on every swing, how much do you appreciate this approach that really seems to value really shortening up and changing your approach with guys on base?
You saw it in, I don't recall what the score was, 6-1, something like that, where Corey Seager against McClanahan, just a 10, 11 pitch at bat, shortening the swing to get a base hit to left center field. Those are things that potentially might help down the road in this series. And we've done that time and time again. The Muncy at bat, Justin's at bat, spoiling pitches, and we've done it. And it's just a credit to these guys to just kind of make adjustments with swing and approach and just get in there and fight. And that's what we do a good job of.
I got time for one more. Go ahead, Dylan.
We spoke coming into this postseason about, you mentioned how your familiarity with these guys after having managed them for years, you thought would lead to better decisions on your part. How just reassuring, I guess, has it been that, pretty much everything you've done this postseason, has turned the right way?
I think that like I said, Dylan, it's, the more you're in something, the more you do something, you get experience, and I'm always trying to get better and learn. But I think the bottom line is that we have really good players, and I trust them, and they're executing, they're competing, they're playing every single pitch, from the defensive side to the offense side to on the bases, and it's a tight-knit group. It's and I talk a lot about not only having the best players, but the smartest players, and all the credit goes to those guys and the coaches for sure.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.